Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1182. Hello, it's Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, plus the return of the interesting segment called JARELNIME, where Jarell takes us into the world of anime, a world that I don't quite understand, I don't fathom, I don't get it.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But after today, I will know a little bit more about it, and therefore I shall rejoice.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, on Friday, I didn't want to get caught up in traffic because going north in this Bay Area is pathetic. Because you gotta get stuck behind all the other people that want to go north. North is the place to be. And if your name is Oliver North, you're an idiot. But that's neither here nor there.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And if you're the movie North, well, you're going, how come nobody ever watches me? Oh, yeah, because I'm a weird
Mike's
children's
Daily
movie with Reba McEntire.
Podcast.
I think it was her first big acting job,
Yeah.
Reba. But I digress. Hey, I was on a country station on the internet yesterday. And every weekend. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to tell you, because I couldn't go north and go back home to Castro Valley from Fremont, I decided, heck, I'll go south. Because going south apparently is quite easy on a Friday crazy traffic day. So I went south, and I ended up at a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Now, to those of you who live in Southern California, you've got Coffee Bean and Tea Leaves all over the place. They are as plentiful as Starbucks. But here, we've got maybe 5 altogether in the entire Bay Area. And one of them happens to be in, Sunnyvale is kind of the area that it's at. So I drove down there, had my favorite Black Forest mocha that they make, a Frappuccino thing. It's insane. I know I'm giving a free plug to Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, but now, since I gave them a free plug, I'm going to give them a free diss. Your employees are the most pathetic, sad people. It's like they're like, we want to work at Starbucks. This sucks. It was so... And I saw the most beautiful woman walk in, just like that, walk in to the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. And I should have gone over and talked to her. The story of my life. The story of my life, One Direction. Look, but somebody did walk in the cafe anyway here. Hi, Ma, it's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing?
It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
Don't look at my wife like that.
I'm not looking at her. I'm looking away. Mark, you can look at me all you want. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, I was very happy to see this girl. Okay, so she walks in to the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, and she has on this beautiful, summer dress that just killed me. And then she had on this cool sort of retro-y woman hat, the hats that they wear in the summertime. And because it was really like a summer day. Well, it was really a summer day. Today, look who else just walked in. It's going to be a heck of a summer day today in the Bay Area. The frickin', it's going to be 97. Not looking forward to that. And it's been hot all weekend. So she walked in. I should have said, I was going to say something to her nice hat. But, I think that might turn off some people. I like your hat. But I couldn't think of anything else. I wanted to talk to her, but I didn't. And then she was gone next thing I knew. And life goes on, doesn't it? Hey, after that, I went to a Meadery. Mead. And I'm like, I want to get to drink some mead. But actually, I ended up drinking a beer that had honey in it, which wasn't quite what mead is. But they told me that mead, regular mead, is basically non-alcoholic. There's very little alcohol content in it. So here, have this mead stout beer. And so I drank that. It took about an hour to drink it. I'm a slow drinker. And then by that point, there was no buzz or drunkenness at all. And I said, I'll hang out and talk I talked to the guy that ran the place. And he was the coolest guy. He had this shirt on that was sort of a retro scene from Star Wars, the very first one, when they walk into the bar and there's all the aliens. Somebody had done like a cool 60s retro artist named Shag. He does this retro stuff. He did like the cover of one of the Smash Mouth albums, and his shirt had and it was like this bright burnt orange background to it, and it was very cool. And he had a cool kind of a retro-y, plays a blues club in the 60s kind of look to him. And so we talked for a while, and then I ended up at a cool park. I think it was called Bay something park in the Sunnyvale area. And I walked out and I saw this beautiful sunset. Oh, I should have posted the podcast picture from that, but instead I have this podcast picture.
And here's today's podcast picture.
You know, I neglected to mention you as you walked in.
That's all right, Mike. I'm the brewmaster. I make the root beer. Oh, boy.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so the picture is of Basil the Boxer, and he met a wonderful Chihuahua, and this picture was taken at Heron Bay. And, you know, people go, oh, wow, your dog is big. He's going to eat my little dog. And no. Basil looks upon all dogs, as fellow canines, and all is well. So don't worry your little head.
I won't worry my head, Mike.
That's good. You've got an interesting head with that hat. Oh, hey, happy Oktoberfest. I guess we're in that time, huh?
That's right, Mike. Oktoberfest is the wonderful German festival where people drink beer, and I make the oat beer.
So you don't really pertain. It doesn't really pertain to you.
What?
Anyway, cafe anyway.
Anyway,
I would like to say that if you'd like to help out the show, go to MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, click on the Amazon link, buy whatever it is you were going to buy on Amazon. That helps us out tremendously. And then there's also what other link? Oh, the PayPal link. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters if you use that. There's also all the past podcast pictures, past interviews I've done with all kinds of celebrities that were in either country bands or were country artists, and some up and coming will someday be celebrities. They're like with indie bands and they're indie artists and stuff. Oh, it's a whole plethora of folks that I've talked to. You can find that at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And speaking of talking to people today, let's talk to Jarrell in the segment we call
JARELNIME.
All right, it's been a long time. Welcome back, Jarrell, to JARELNIME.
What's up, ploops?
Hey, when we record this, we have to hide. We hide in our place. It's our hiding place recording.
The cave?
Did you know that there's people are selling closets to renting closets out in San Francisco for like $600 a month or something?
Well, they can't afford a full apartment, so what do you expect?
I know, it's ridiculous, though. I mean, does that come with kitchen prep? Where do you pee? You know, that kind of thing. Hey, this is more about anime, though, this topic. Talk about anime now.
Well, let me get a word of advice for the parents out there. If you have children, chances are your children are going to be exposed to anime, whether it be on the web or if it be on TV, especially Cartoon Network, especially during a particular program on the weekends called, that's right, Adult Swim. And in many cases, if I remember correctly, in the times that I was watching Cartoon Network, it more likely still is on Cartoon Network, including more likely on the weekdays. So,
you know what? Adult Swim, I used to watch it all the time, and I loved. Do you know what Adult Swim, though, is genius? In fact, they've inspired other cable channels. Their bumpers, what we call bumpers, the little things in between the shows, like you'll just see a pool and the water, and it's empty, and you hear a guy off the mic, all the kids out of the pool, Adult Swim, or something like that, or they have little cartoon vignettes that are hilarious.
Even before that, they had a robot saying that.
Oh, yeah? Did it sound like that character you were doing at the beginning of this?
No. It was more of a deeper voice, and it sounded more like an actual robot was reading a script off that somebody typed into it.
Well, it's sort of, I guess, well known now that it's very adult-oriented, Adult Swim.
Pretty much, but it obviously does have an appeal to pretty much the youth as well.
Youth?
Yeah, because what youth do you know actually goes to bed exactly at 10 o'clock?
They should go to bed at 10, but I had to go to bed by 10.
That doesn't mean they do.
No, because now they got all these things they can play on their phone if they sneak their phone into the bed. Back in my day, we'd sneak a comic book into the bed with a flashlight.
That was the more pure of concepts.
It was a pure time. So continue on your thought about Adult Swim, etc.
The big thing is you want to look at what anime your kids are watching. Even before Adult Swim comes on, there is a marathon of anime that is aired between the hours of, if I remember correctly, 8 p.m., if not sooner, to about midnight when Adult Swim actually takes over. And really look up the genre of everything. That should be a familiar word when it comes to music. But in the genre of anime, there's some things you want to be able to put in perspective with your child. And one of those genres you need to look out for is ecchi.
What? Is that? How do you spell that?
ECCHI, if I remember correctly.
Oh, so if I were to Google ecchi right now, I'd come up with, like, dirty pictures?
Somewhat dirty pictures. It's pretty much the borderline of innuendos, if you will.
Oh, okay. And they put that on television?
Yeah, they do. But they tend to do it at nighttime because they figure more kids more likely to be asleep. But even if it's not available on TV, it's available online.
Any other terms people should know?
Well, let me expound on ecchi on the borderline concept of, what was the word I was saying? Oh, that's right. Innuendo. So basically what it is it's a comical scene to where a guy may walk into the restroom, but the door's unlocked for whatever reason, and a girl is stripping out of her clothes to where it's just at the point to where she's taking off her underwear.
Why would she's in the men's room doing that?
No, just in the bathroom of a residence.
Oh, so like he walks in on her while she's changing or something.
Yeah. Which I doubt that's even possible in real life because there are door locks even in Japan.
Well, have you ever stayed at the Playboy Mansion?
No, and I'm not going to.
But if you did, that might happen. Although Hugh Hefner, I hear, is moving out. Or is he? He's renting out I don't know. Go on with your ecchi.
I usually check the door, such as the perimeter of the door, to make sure the light's not turned on in there, and also just knock if I'm not sure, and if I don't hear an answer, then I will conclude that nobody is in there.
Unless she says, Jarrell, come on in,
That privilege is only for my potential wife.
Right. Yeah, that'd be the thing you guys would do. On your wedding night, after I was at the wedding and I ate some of your cake, what are we going to have at your wedding? Is it a buffet?
I think we should. Just go all out with it.
That'll be is there going to be, what kind of music are we playing? Who's going to be the DJ?
I think we'll go with Swing Street.
Hey, everybody, go to Swing Street. What is it? Swing Street Radio or Swing Street?
Yeah, Swing Street Radio. You're welcome, Craig.
Someone we know started a swing music station. Maybe I'll have him on the podcast one day. And then thanks for trying to get Bud Adams on my podcast the other day. He's a mechanic in Podcaster Valley. We are on opposite ends of Seven Hills Road. I'm on one end, he's on the other. We could do like the spectrum of Podcaster Valley. We could talk about it. That would be the name of the podcast, Spectrum of Podcaster Valley.
I agree. We digress.
I'm sorry. Continue on your ecchi rant.
So the basic thing is, look, I'm not completely knocking ecchi. There are some times to where it may have a place in an anime because accidents do happen. But the thing is you don't want it to be so apparent in the anime that it'll just take away from the overall purpose of the anime. But parents, what I want you to understand is we are in a society now to where more television and more forms of media entertainment is shifting toward hypersexualization. So you want to make sure that you bring this into perspective with your children as early as possible and within reasonability as well. So obviously, if they ask you a question about something, it's best not to dodge that, because they're going to get an answer from somewhere. So they can either get an answer from you in the proper perspective, or they can get the answer somewhere else where it may not be in the proper perspective. Now, hentai is definitely a danger zone.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah, hentai is an absolute danger zone. That's straight porn. So whenever you hear that word or whenever you see something like that in that regard, that should be a red alert in you, and you should immediately take measures to help get your child away from that.
Exactly. Children shouldn't watch that stuff. They should watch the Peanuts, Charlie Brown, etc.
It should also be noted that I don't think anybody really should be watching that, because it causes all forms of desensitization, to which you think your partner's thinking about you while you're getting bed action, but they might actually be thinking about something else.
There's some misogyny going on, but I guess this is an issue for Dr. Phil or Dr. Drew or one of those guys.
Probably a half dozen other folks too. But ultimately, back to the edgy concept, it could be a dude just be walking in on a female when she's in the bathroom. Could even be a incident to where some way, somehow, the students bump into each other at school. And this is in the anime. The students, a boy and a girl, may just bump into each other at school. Then all of a sudden they lose their balance, and for some odd way, in defiance in the laws of physics, the girl's butt ends up on the guy's face.
Oh my gosh.
Just a full-blown panty shot. I'm like, and then there's the other concepts of, the wind's blowing and it's so strong it blows their skirt up and all that. It's like, come on, folks. And the other factor is, the another word to watch out for, but you won't really see it actually in the list of genre, is the Gynex bounce, which basically in anime, for a growing number of anime, there seems to be this urge or this fetish going on to where there's unreasonably large breasts on teenage female characters. I'm talking about double D and up, which is like, come on now. Teach your kids that that's serious back pain, so therefore they will not expect that.
That couldn't happen in real life. I mean, it could, but you have a lot of pain and other issues.
Well, I would just give a word of advice to the guys. You may be enjoying that, but you got to look at the expressions of your partner as well, because chances are she's suffering a lot of back and shoulder pain.
It's guys that are drawing that anyway, those particular ones for sure.
Yeah, so the moral of this story is put into perspective what your kids are watching to help manage the expectations thereof, so they don't get so they don't become desensitized, and now women are wondering what the heck is wrong with guys.
I knew a woman, it was a friend of my ex-wife's, who got a breast reduction. Mm-hmm. Then she lost a bunch of weight because she got a gastric bypass. Then she had breast implants. Then she got big again, and I don't know, then I got divorced. So I don't know I haven't kept in touch with that person. I guess what I'm saying is you can go a little bit surgery crazy, and sometimes, that's a lot of cut and whatnot. How did I get on that subject? I don't know. Even
so, it's still a good topic to consider, because there are situations like this that occur. And one message I would say out to guys is, understand, a woman is more than just her breasts, her thighs, her butt, or anything like that. You need someone whom you can actually have a chemistry catalyst of personality. Mm-hmm. Because all said and done, 30, 40 years from now, all that's going to change, including your own frame. Right. So do not engage in attractive. What I'm trying to say here is, do not engage in emotional connection with a woman solely for her body.
It's what's on the inside that matters.
There is a significance of the outside. I'm not knocking that, but what I'm saying is, do not base it solely on the appearance, because the appearance is going to change.
That's right. Lord knows I know. I used to be an elephant. I had a tusk. I had a large trunk and everything, and now I'm a human. I don't know, Jarrell. I think you've said a lot of things that we should all think about, and we should grow on. By knowing these things, it'll help us and help our children and help the world. Any final thoughts?
If I was to sum this up in one simple statement, it would be this: all things in moderation.
That's right. Except for hamburgers. I want to eat a bunch of those.
Even that must be done in moderation.
Oh!
Even sweets in moderation.
Beer?
Moderation. Unless you want to end up either at the hospital or in the police station detoxing.
True. Thank you, Jarrell. Great. Oh, he's giving me a big thumbs up. Let's end with a thumbs up. Thanks, Jarrell.
Thank you.
Woo! Thanks, Jarrell. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Etchy. Words I didn't know before. Hey, you know what? Next show, it's going to be Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Oh, incidentally, the end to that story I was telling earlier, I did eventually make it home, like 9 o'clock, after I did all my traveling around, and I guess the Bay Area can be kind of distracting, what with the traffic and the meaderies and the coffee bean and tea leaves that pop up out of nowhere. Happy Oktoberfest.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!